What's up guys, TN here, back again with another video, but today, this time we're going to do something slightly different, still kind of review, but I just want to quickly talk about Captain America Civil War and my first thoughts on it. I watched it today, came out today, my popcorn is still on my bed, whatever. Ugh. Just want to quickly say this video will contain a lot of spoilers because the movie just came out today, so I'm allowed to do that now. And if you haven't watched it yet, sorry. If you haven't, why haven't you watched it? Because it's amazing, and like I said, it's out today. So just a quick overview of the plot. We've got the United Nations who want to kind of put restrictions on the Avengers and superheroes in general. And we've got the two sides. We've got Iron Man, Captain America. We've got these two sides who, one agrees with the United Nations and believes that they should have restrictions on the superheroes, and we've got Captain America who doesn't quite agree, and those two obviously gonna clash. I don't want to go too much into the plot. I will obviously talk about different things throughout the movie. So first of all, I just want to talk about a few things that weren't so great about the movie. They weren't necessarily bad, it's just kind of things that didn't quite sit well with me, I guess. But there's literally only two or three things. After that, we'll talk about the good stuff, which literally I can talk about it all day, but I won't, obviously. So the main thing that I really didn't like about the movie was, it's not necessarily that bad of a thing, I'm just being really picky, is the fact that they had, whenever they changed cities or something like that, they had a really massive piece of white text that said where they were. For example, that one scene where they were in London, it just seemed really cheap. No, not cheap, but I'm not really sure how to explain it. Watch the movie, you might understand, you might not. I'm just being really picky. Personally, I would have preferred it if they had it in the corner or something, where it was nice and subtle, or literally just showed something that's kind of significant to that city. For example, if they were in London, it just showed the Big Ben. And that's enough, to be honest. Like I said, just being very, very picky. My expectation for this movie is very high, and it completely met all the standards that I had for it. Just like I said, really, really amazing movie. Definitely watch it. Another thing that I have to say about the movie is one of the villains, Crossbones. Personally, I don't think he was in the movie long enough. He was in it for like the first act, which is half an hour, 20 minutes into the movie. Obviously, I didn't time myself in the movie, did I? He's in the first bit of the movie, and after that, he's just gone. I would have liked it if they kind of went into his story a little bit more. What happened to him after what happened in Winter Soldier, obviously after he got burnt and got crushed by the building. I would have liked it if he was in the movie more. I think he was a pretty interesting character, and we don't actually know why he kind of did what he did at the beginning of the movie. I would have liked it if they kind of went more into that. It would have been pretty cool. Obviously, but it's not about him in this movie. It's about these two. However, obviously, without Crossbones, they didn't really have anything that would kind of spark this civil war between these two sides. If you've read the comics, I personally haven't read any of the comics. I just know stuff about it. Obviously, in the comics, you've got the villain who kind of suicided, kamikaze attacked next to the school, killed hundreds of people, and they kind of had something to replace that. So they had Crossbones and him kind of blowing himself up, which killed only 11 people, but regardless, it killed people. Oh, and on that topic, what I didn't really like about the movie is the fact that they got really angry about 11 people dying. If Scarlet Witch didn't do what she did, a lot more people would have died. Not only would more people have died, but Captain America himself also would have died. That is something I didn't really understand, didn't really get why people are so angry about that. Obviously, people did die, but if she didn't do what she did, a lot more people would have died. And not just more people, this beautiful face. Come on. So on the topic of villains, we've got a new villain that's been introduced to the MCU, which is Zemo. If you're like me, you haven't read the comics, you don't actually know who he is. It's Baron Zemo. I googled him earlier, and I did not expect to see what I did see, because from how they portrayed him in the movie, I did not expect that. I've read online that a lot of people were disappointed how Zemo turned out. Me personally, I liked it. Most probably because I didn't read the comics. I don't actually know who Baron Zemo is. But Baron Zemo, he played a very subtle role in the movie as the villain, but at the same time, it was a very big role. I think personally, he obviously, what happened at the end, he provoked Tony to fight both Bucky and Steve. And personally, I think it was really a nice touch, and we kind of find out also how Tony's parents died, and it kind of led up to. I like how the movie led up to him finding about his parents. Obviously, at the beginning of the movie, when he's talking about at MIT, talking about the technology and then the grant and all that stuff, with the whole thing with his parents and his regrets. I kind of expected something to do with his parents at the end, but at the same time, I wasn't expecting that. Personally, I think it was a really nice touch, and obviously, it added more of a character development to Tony's character. Kind of gave you more of a kind of a glimpse of what he's about. So they don't really need to add Zemo into this movie, but I do like how they added him, kind of not just as a villain, but also to develop the other characters, and we kind of find more about Tony's parents, his past, and also Bucky, and how he was manipulated and turned into the Winter Soldier himself. I would have liked it if the movie wasn't so kind of anticlimactic at the end. Obviously, we had the build up with the whole more than one Winter Soldier. Me personally, I was expecting a massive fight at the end. That kind of added more to it being in a Captain America movie rather than a Avengers movie. And I like where it went. Wasn't a bad thing at all. But like I said, it was anticlimactic. I was kind of expecting a big fight. Now that we've got kind of the bad things out of the way, can't really call them bad things other than the massive text in the middle of the screen, which was for me completely unnecessary. And the whole villain thing. Obviously, it's not an Avengers movie; it's a Captain America movie. And Civil War at that is meant to be about these two. So yeah. On to the things that personally I thought were pretty damn amazing. There was a lot, so I'm going to kind of cut it down a little. So first of all, we've got romance. We've got Vision, Scarlet Witch, Agent 13, and Captain America. Personally, wasn't a huge fan of the Captain America and Agent 13, purely because of timing. It was obvious from Winter Soldier, Captain America 2 Winter Soldier, that was going to happen, but timing personally could have been better. Peggy just died. He just died, and he kind of jumped straight onto her niece, which personally didn't really like that much. But they make a good couple, I must say. And then we've got the introduction of both Black Panther and Spider-Man in the MCU. Both are really, really cool characters. Spider-Man obviously played by Tom Holland. I'll probably do a separate video about him, comparing him, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. I think he did the best job of the three. Like, literally, the way he portrayed Spider-Man, and both Spider-Man and Peter Parker in this movie, kind of just blew me away. And he was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. He was actually part of my favourite scene in the movie, so I'll kind of talk about that later as well. We've also got Ant-Man in the movie. If you've seen Ant-Man already, you already know Ant-Man is hilarious. It was an amazing addition to the movie. Can't really complain. And I'm probably missing out so much of the movie that's amazing. When I edit this, I'm probably going to be like, oh, I'm so stupid. But sitting here talking about it, I'm not really thinking straight. But those are kind of the main things I wanted to talk about. So first thing I wanted to talk about is the kind of romance side of things with there's the Vision and Scarlet Witch. So regarding them, obviously I haven't read the comics, as I said, but I've read about it, and I knew from the beginning that Scarlet Witch and Vision would be kind of married later on in the story. Don't know whether they will be doing that in MCU. doesn't really make that much of a difference to me, but I think they are a good match, of considering how strong she is, and that he's basically a god. Yeah, but what did you guys think about the actual movie itself and the romance with those two? Because for me personally, it was very kind of obvious that they have a really good chance of ending up together. My friend who I was watching it with today, he thought that the kind of romance was very, very implicit. For me, it was very obvious. What do you guys think? I personally think it was quite explicit, whereas he thought it was implicit. Obviously, two different views. I don't know. What do you guys think? With the whole Steve Rogers, Sharon Carr thing, as I've already said that before, it was obvious it was going to happen, but timing, didn't really like it. And then we've got Black Panther. Black Panther is new to the MCU. He's gonna get his own movie. It's been announced already. I think it's coming out is it this year or is it next year? I can't remember. I think it might be this year. He's getting his own movie, so it'll be really cool to kind of know his backstory, how he became Black Panther, and all that. Obviously, we know quite a bit about him already, with the Black Panther being a symbol of his people, or the people of Wakanda. But a Black Panther movie is going to be pretty damn amazing. He was a really cool character, and can't wait to watch his movie. Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about was the airport scene that you can see in the trailer. Personally, I wasn't expecting too much of it. I was expecting a really cliched fight where you obviously got your one side, you got the other side, and just go and then just clash. But in the movie, it was done so well. Most people are going to say this as well. The movie, literally, my expectation of that fight scene was to be honest, it was kind of low because it looked really cliched to me. But holy crap, the Russo brothers executed that so well. That was probably one of the best parts of the movie. Actually, it was the best part of the movie. And that part of the movie had my favorite scene, which was where Spider-Man was fighting with Bucky and Falcon. The part where Bucky flew into the not Bucky, where Spider-Man flew into the airport and kind of grabbed Bucky's hand, and it was hilarious with the way he reacted. Like I said, Tom Holland's character, he did such a good job. You can't praise him enough for his role in this movie. Like, seriously, really good job. And then you've also got Ant-Man in this part of the movie. Holy crap, that was it was such a good twist, in my opinion. Actually, I was wondering why on the back of this box here, you've got Giant Man. Wait, I'm not sure if you can read that. It's not focusing, but regardless, you can see that all of them, they're all the same size except for Ant-Man. It even says here his name is Giant Man. I seriously was really confused with that. Obviously, I knew he could turn big. Everyone pretty much knew that. But I did not expect to see what I saw in the movie, and I thought it was completely hilarious. Ant-Man, Spider-Man, they were kind of the biggest comics of the movie, I think. I found, weirdly enough, I found myself laughing at Falcon quite a lot. Like, to me, from at the beginning, he was just kind of a complete sideman to Captain America. I just thought it was really funny. Not many people were laughing. I found it funny. I was laughing in the cinema. A bit weird, but oh well. But overall, the movie was hilarious. I wasn't expecting it to be too serious. With the previous Captain America movies, they weren't kind of on the comedic side, whereas the Avengers was. So that kind of ties into it, kind of feeling like an Avengers movie. But the movie was really funny. The movie pretty much had everything in it. It had action, romance, comedy. You can't really fault it that much. And the way the movie ended, I personally think it was really good. It was very kind of anticlimactic. The ending kind of makes you think how the next movies are going to play out. Because obviously right now the Avengers are split up. You've got obviously Captain America side, Iron Man side. They are still split up. They did it differently from the comics, where Steve actually turned himself in. In this one, he broke them out of prison. It makes you really think how they're gonna end this. Personally, I honestly don't know. I haven't read the comics. I personally is a different ending from the comics anyway. But again, I honestly don't know. Maybe they'll show it at the end of kind of the Black Panther movie, maybe new Spider-Man movie. Not sure. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about the movie. I would probably give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Purely because the movie was a really, really, really good movie, but there were certain things that I think could have been done differently. For example, there could have been a more of a villain, but at the same time, they kind of want. I think they probably wanted it to be more towards the emotional side of things. With obviously the Iron Man, Captain America, they were friends. They started a fight with each other and all that. But overall, yeah, it was really, really good movie. Very, very funny, full of action. Fight scenes amazing. The choreography for the fight scenes were like amazing. Like you could not fault it. I would give it a 8.5 to maybe even 9 out of 10. That's it. Peace.